Call to
Like a
order.
little subdivision.
Please rise. Watch the flag. Next on the agenda is to just make mention of our continuing policy. Our mission is to encourage everyone to see and be their personal best through successful learning experiences. Become your best. Item 4 on the agenda, adoption of agenda and consent agenda as the order of business with identification of items to be taken off the consent agenda for discussion or separate action. Are there any additional orders of business or any additional items we'd like added? Hearing none,
You have to,
do I have to make a roll call on that one, or a
you have to make a motion.
motion? Yeah.
I move we adopt the agenda and consent agenda as the order of business.
Second.
All right, thank you. Item 5 is consider approval of consent agenda as adopted. Approve minutes from February 21st, 2023 Board of Education meeting. Approve financial report for the period July 1st, 2022 through February 28th, 2023. Approve bills for the period February 1st, 2023 through February 28th, 2023 in the amount of $2,408,814.31.
Second.
Thank you. So moved. Do I have to vote? Okay. Kathleen?
Oh, no, you just take
No,
all in
no,
favor.
no.
Oh, sorry, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Item number 6, Board and District Leadership Team Strategic Planning, Legislative Update, Superintendent Dan Miller.
Yes, we continue to work with our legislators around many different issues on a monthly basis. This month, we moved our board meetings up a week, as you are aware, because of the spring break and wherever it all fell. So our regular scheduled meeting is next week. That being said, we still are in communication with our legislators throughout. And just as an update, the governor has provided his budget at this point, and so in that budget, schools definitely would be adequately funded, especially a low-revenue district like Plymouth, because there is an added number in there for low-revenue districts. Most of the districts in our area are like that, are low-revenue districts, and so as a group, we are definitely advocating that our legislators take that up as a point of order. And then the Joint Finance Committee now has the governor's budget, so they kind of rework it and look, they don't rework it, they look at it and they assign numbers and analysis to it. And then the next step is negotiations. And so at this point, as we're advocating with our legislators for adequate and proper funding for our schools, they are getting that information from us, they're getting information from other constituents, and they will work hopefully together with the governor to come up with a budget, and people are still saying they will have a budget by July, so that would be very good. As an added note, with the governor's budget, proposed budget, there is something that affects us as our recent discussions, a provision in there for additional funding for childcare statewide in the form of non-competitive grants and just straight out funding, which would be interesting to us as we move down the journey of childcare in our area and trying to help make it more affordable and more available. That if that part of the budget were to be added or to be approved, that might be something very important to us down the road. So that's now become part of our conversation as well. And that's my report.
Would those be state funds then coming, that would be the competitive grant for the child care program?
Those would be state funds, yes.
Moving on to item number 7, under academic pillar of excellence. We need to make a motion to consider the approval of summer school courses for the 2023 summer school program. Summer school will be held from June 19th, 2022.
Right, it should be 23.
yeah, I was gonna say, July 22, so, sorry, June 19th, 2023 to July 20th, 2023. We held the discussion last week, Monday. Do we want to continue that discussion, or is there any other questions?
I would just make a note that we did discuss the fact that there's a change of location for the first time. Part of the program will be held at Parkview as kind of part of our ongoing rotation for making sure that all of our schools get a deep clean, just as a point of reference for the public that is here. And again, Riverview will be hosting the main portion this year, partly due to the rotation process that we had, but also it's a good thing because this year the air conditioning system in this building hopefully is replaced during the summer, so it wouldn't be available during the time that summer school would be here. Again, we have band blast off as part of it. We have a couple of proposals that I brought up to the chamber board today, talking about the vehicle recreation safety class that is proposed as part of this year's write-up for the summer school, in which students would be able to get their certification for snowmobile, for UTV, and for boat as one distinct class for a pretty reasonable cost, and then an animal recreation safety class, which would include hunter safety and trapping. So they would also get that through our program with an experienced teacher here. So that was something that I wanted to make a note of, because that does bring in the fact that they would be bringing bows and disabled firearms that are approved and disabled by the DNR to use as, learned carries and those types of things here in the school. And I wanted to make sure that if you wanted to have a discussion about that still, or to make sure the public was aware of that leading into this if it's approved.
And I think the discussion last week, they pointed out that the instructor will bring the items that are used, the bows and arrows and the disabled DNR-approved guns. It's not, no one's open to bringing anything on site.
Correct.
It's provided by the instructor.
Mm-hmm.
I think my only question is in relationship to getting communication out so that we don't have those other kind of, oh, the kids are bringing guns to school statements which aren't going to be true or accurate. So is there a plan for either the teacher or community ed or whomever to be able to get this communication out clearly so that we don't turn this into kind of a PR concern?
Yes. If approved, then we definitely will be messaging that hunter safety is available. By the way, the chamber board is made up of many people on the board that have kids that are kind of going through that hunter's safety age, and they were all very much in favor of this, and we're saying, we can come to the board, this would be great, because they can't find a place to go. But ahead of this, we definitely will message and make sure it's well aware that these are DNR-provided disabled firearms that are being used. The location would be a spot that's kind of out of the way, so you're not seeing that, like people driving by that don't know what's going on might see something. So we would be definitely messaging about that a lot.
They would be outside for a portion of this?
Yeah, so like there's parts of hunter safety where like stand safety, like getting in a tree properly, crossing fence lines, carrying guns that, are in a way that's safe for the group that's around you
And that would happen on these grounds here?
on
Would they
the
be-
Riverview grounds.
I'm sorry, under Riverview grounds.
Mhm.
And they would be wearing like blaze orange or something? that
They usually
signify
do,
that?
yeah. Yep. And the guns themselves are all blaze orange too.
And the instructor they mentioned has done this in other school districts before, so she's aware of everything, and
Yes.
we're saying that she has the details.
Mhm.
I think as long as students, they're gonna know, and I don't know, I guess are the parents involved in this at all? With the process of education?
Well, they are for hunter safety. It's part of the packet, yes. There has to be some part of it. There usually is a day when you go to your regular hunt, like the typical hunter safety, where you go as a parent and just kind of walk around with your student. And so I'm imagining that we have the same opportunity here.
Okay, does anybody want to make a motion and acceptance of the changes to summer school courses?
I move we approve the summer school courses for the 2023 summer school program.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 8, finance, buildings, and grounds. We have some gifts and corresponding budget adjustments to make.
Yes, every month we put out information about the gifts that we receive from our community. Very generous as always, and a lot of the trips and fun little side things that we do are always supported by our communities and our parent groups. So thank you in advance. There was a donation of $1,000 from the Wisconsin State Golf Association Foundation for the Boys Golf Grant. There's a donation of $487.61 from Art to Remember for Parkview Elementary School. There's a donation of $504.90 from Art to Remember for Fairview Elementary School. A donation of $1,100.95 for a team dinner for the Boys Soccer Booster Club. A donation of $207.25 for a team dinner from the Boys Basketball Booster Club. A donation of $758.78 from the Sheboygan County Chamber for transportation to the STEM Fest for the 4th and 5th grade students. Thank you very much for that as well. And all of those budget adjustments will be made.
Okay, thank you. Do we have to accept them?
Yes,
Yes, okay.
need a
Make a
motion.
motion, we accept the gifts that were given.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 Okay, we're on item number 9, period of public participation. Do we have anybody signed up?
No.
Okay. Item number 10, moving on to the board liaison report. Community Ed, Sally Isley.
Yes, coming up, they have babysitting clinic for students in grade 5 through 8 to learn how to be a great babysitter. If you like to golf, you can practice here at the high school in the new section. Family Swim is happening on April 1st. There's still a couple free movies left this year, April 17th and May 22nd. They're free, but you must register to make sure that if somebody's coming, somebody will be there to show the movie. And if you'd like to get up early, you can play rec basketball. This ages 18 and up. There's, of course, the water classes and fitness classes. And that's it.
All right, thank you. Foundation, Bob isn't here today. Is there any updates from?
No, they're kind of ramping up for scholarship season at this point in the foundation because this is the time of year when kids are writing scholarships and then ultimately the foundation will be reviewing those and then ultimately awarding. So they're kind of getting into that, and I know they're also working on their big fundraiser, the replacement for Party with a Purpose coming up for next school year.
Okay. And then on to myself with the Family Resource Center. So we haven't had a meeting since the last time I gave a report, this last Tuesday, second Tuesday of last month. But I'd always like you to check out their webpage at familyresourcesheboygan.org/calendar. You can find all kinds of cool updates, so everybody's favorite, bring your own baby. Something I'm certainly not understanding, but it's SchBd Book Club, so kind of interesting. And then the next one is a block party. So not exactly what you think it might be, but those are 3 that were kind of cool to hear from. So moving forward to number 11, personnel. The board will consider the approval of the retirement request from Christine Van. Is this typically you saying this? Okay, you want to go ahead?
Sure. Yes. So in personnel today, we have all personnel that would be needing approval, so I'll read each of them, and then you can approve them all en masse. So first, the board will consider the approval of the retirement request from Christine Van Ness, occupational therapist, that should be occupational therapist, for the Plymouth School District, effective at the end of the 2022-23 school year. Christine has been with the district for 29 years. The board will consider the approval of the retirement request from Lisa Krasaniak, reading specialist at Horizon Elementary School, effective at the end of the 2022-23 school year. Lisa has been with the district for 35 years. And the board will consider the approval of the retirement request from husband, Paul Krasaniak, physics teacher at Plymouth High School, effective at the end of the 2022-23 school year. Paul's been with the district, again, for 35 years. And the board will consider the resignation of Hannah Wisman, special education teacher at the Fairview Elementary School, effective at the end of the 2022-23 school year. Hannah has been with the district for 5 years. So there's a group that we are losing a lot of experience and a husband-wife team. So, and I will note that the cardboard boat races for physics were in the pool today, and Mr. Krasaniak was in one of them. So that was an inaugural and one-time event.
All right, we need to make a motion to accept the personnel changes.
I make a motion that we accept these retirements that was just read.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you to Lisa and Paul. And through the years that I've been on the board, they've emailed or sent cards thanking us for being on the board. I really appreciate that, and for all the years that they spent here investing in our kids. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Item number 12, there are not any additional items from the consent agenda. We can move to item number 13, which is the president report. Bob's not here, so we'll just move on.
Nope.
No, we got, okay. All right, so it's me. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the affordable childcare discussion that we kind of brought on about a couple months ago, and wanted to continue it into this month, and just wanted to really provide an update to everybody upon the work that Dan and his team is doing behind the scenes, and then kind of continue it into the following months here as we try to initiate this. So some of the additional data that Dan has found is that there's 75 participants that are a part of the St. John Lutheran 3-year to grade 5 program currently, and there's none on the waiting list. St. John's Baptist has 3-year-olds and older program. They have 35 participants, and they're considering going to age 1 and up due to inquiries, but they need more space and staff. Growing Generations is an infant to 12 years program, and it has 104 participants, and they have a waiting list of over 50, although once on the waiting list, people stay on it, so there might be ebbs and flows there. Community Education Child Care, that's an infant to grade 4. There's 266 participants. There's 20 on the waiting list, and all infant to age 3. So, in summary of all that, the greatest need is for infant to 3 years old child care. Most programs are able to accommodate all the school-age children who need care. All programs are interested in this initiative and have ongoing meetings as community child care providers. Staffing is a struggle for Growing Generations. They are currently only utilizing one of their 2 infant rooms due to staffing. And Growing Generations, I assume, is at Generations?
Yes.
And then Community Education Child Care is here.
In the district, yeah.
Okay. A couple other notes. In Community Ed and Rec, we are currently compiling information on additional staffing, room expansion, current costs, and expansion costs. We do know that we can accommodate the 20 on the Community Ed childcare waiting list by adding 1 1/2 rooms. We had recently been on a positive course with hiring our staff and believe that we could staff a room or 2 with expansion. We also understand that this only solves a small part of the issue and know that the community-wide collaboration is a key to making this happen. Bob Travis and Kathy Murray briefly talked to Governor Evers on this initiative, and we gave him a document summarizing it. Members of Governor Evers' staff have given us their contact information to continue communication on the project. And like I said, we'll continue this discussion in April as a separate board meeting item. So exciting stuff. It's good to know that Governor Evers is thinking about it and that state grant funding might be an avenue for us. Couple other things I wanted to bring. We talk a lot about community engagement. It's one of our 4 core pillars to the school district. And, you know, that basically means that all students and staff experience a connection to the community every year. All district facilities are utilized by the community. All community members experience a connection to the school community outreach every year. And community education and recreation will be the hub of lifelong learning and wellness in the community. You know, my personal feelings are on it, you know, I'm personally almost here, it seems like almost every night during some weeks. But the parking lot's always full. Like, I have a hard time even parking here on a Tuesday or Monday for school board meetings, and equally as a hard problem during other events. So it feels like to me it's a shining star of this school district. But something we can make it better, we can strive for better. And as we discussed, affordable child care has become a stressful point for our parents. Trying to balance our families and career life can be overwhelming. And for our employers starving for a workforce, parents can't work unless they feel that their children or future will be cared for. As we learned through COVID, the community balance between employers and the school district sometimes is taken for granted. We have no community without employers. Employers see no profit without employees, and many employees can't work without child care. We have the opportunity to do something better, to provide an attractive community where work life is balanced with home life, where all parents are given the opportunity to affordable child care through their employer, where our great employers in the community can grow and prosper. To that point, I want to give some gratitude. We talked about some great retiring teachers here, have been here for a long time. Other people that we don't talk a lot about, our administration, our teachers, our assistant teachers, our food service, health care, health services, custodial, buildings and grounds, maintenance staff. They create a great welcoming environment for our students, parents, and all community members. And this goes even past, you know, the daily school hours. I want to give some gratitude to the parents that continue to stay involved, the teachers, administrators, and community members that are continually involved in school activities, be it in the high school musical that we just had this past week, band and choir concerts, athletic and academic events. Gratitude for the parents, teachers, administrators, and community members that are dedicated to our parent-teacher organizations. Those include Parkview, PTK, Riverview's RAPT, R-A-P-T, Horizons Path, and Fairview's PTO. The parent-teacher organizations are in many cases the drivers to community involvement, be it fun fairs or charity walks. They also are drivers for different donation opportunities that allow improvements to our schools and other fun activities our children can get involved in. Parents, this is our opportunity to be involved in our schools to make it a better place for our students and for our community. If you want to know more about your schools and the one thing that could be going on inside or have chosen to be involved in, I think these PTO groups would be a great opportunity for many of us. I think, Tom, you host the RAP, right? I believe last time we held one of those meetings, this is at least coming from my wife, there was a total of 3 parents there?
We eliminated the shutout with 3 parents, yep.
Okay.
We have 3 parents.
My hope is that we can do better than that. So that's where I'll leave that somber note, but
Really strong parents.
really strong parents, yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you. And so just to, again, our community connections are they're demonstrated on a daily basis. And just as an example, I mentioned that I was at the chamber meeting today, and we were talking about the child care issue. And the chamber is made up of employers, and other than myself and the chamber employees. And to a person, they all said child care is an issue in their hiring and also in their retention. And so in the conversations that I had and have had so far with the people in the community, I think we all know that it's been an issue, but putting a name on it and trying to create some real data around how many students are we talking about, how much is the cost, what are the gaps that we have in facilities, what are the gaps that we have in personnel, which seems to be probably the most glaring gap, and what do we do about it? So we're in the define the problem and put names to the issues phase. And then the next phase is going to be who wants to join hands here and come together to come up with solutions to those gaps. So it was a very good discussion, again, and I'm just very grateful always to be in a community where so many people know each other's children, take care of each other, and see an issue and can come together to look at solving it. So that was a very good discussion today. We've had some accomplishments that have come up for our kids. Obviously, Dan mentioned the Footloose show. I don't know how many of you got a chance to see it, but it was fantastic. The shoe drive that went along with it, I don't know how many, I don't think they've counted all the shoes that they've collected so far, but they collected a ton of shoes, and the cast did a great job, both the cast that was on stage and everybody behind the scenes. That was wonderful. Winter sports have been completed. They're over, and the spring sports have begun. Winter sports part 2 has begun. Track's been in session for 2 weeks, and it's more snowy now than when we started. And all the rest of them have begun as well. So it is in full swing for spring. And some individual accomplishments. Silas Daly was a state champion wrestler at 170 pounds. He's only the 4th wrestling state champ in school history. It's a tough road to get to. The swim team took 7th place at state. Ben Coley took 3rd in the 100 freestyle, and Zeb Schermacher took 2nd in diving. So that's congratulations to them. Again, the musical wrapped up, and the dance team took 2nd place at state in the hip-hop category. I don't know if any of you got a chance to see that routine, but it was pretty impressive. So great kids doing great things, and great staff helping them get there under the leadership of the board. So thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you. That moves us to item 15, adjourn. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting for this evening?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Meeting's adjourned.